Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're going to quickly review how to use the Devon Tread 1. Most of what you see here is going to be applicable to every single Tread 1 ever made. So while some of them may have more specialized handling restrictions, such as examples that come with gold cases or leather straps, functionally they're all basically the same, and this includes the Star Wars. The Devon Tread is a thermocompensated quartz movement at heart, which means once you set it, regardless of temperature fluctuation, it's going to be accurate to about 15 seconds a month. And whereas the Tread 2 does have a minimal level of water resistance, this should be treated like a minute repeater. It has no rated water resistance, and Devon will attest only that the watch is resistant to moisture and dust, so it's not an aquatic watch. Now that we're past that, you're going to want to charge it on its inductive charging system, and you'll hear a very faint whine, and that's how you know it's charging. You'll also see the belts go into an absolute fit for a moment as the watch adjusts to its charging mode, so you'll know it's charging because you'll hear it. The faint pitched whine if you get really close, and the manic movement of the belts themselves. It's an easy watch to read. It's effectively a jumping hour, jumping minute, jumping second regulator, as all of the displays are separate. And when you turn it off, it goes into power reserve mode. So what you're actually looking at, you see a little pointed index inside the seconds aperture. You're looking at the power reserve of the watch, and it will proceed from 0 to 1 as it charges, and from 1 down to 0, passing the 0.5 intermediate as it charges and discharges. To turn the watch on from this power saving mode off, and keep in mind it does know the time, it keeps track of the time electronically even when the watch is off, but to turn it on, you use the 3-position switch that looks like a crown, and you press it once and hold it until you see the belts begin to move. Now it will automatically display the correct hour and the minute and activate constant seconds mode. Constant seconds mode is loud, so you may not always wish to use it. The watch has about a 14-day power reserve when you're using seconds off mode, and about a 7-day power reserve when you're using constant seconds mode. So we're going to turn off constant seconds by taking the crown and twisting it counterclockwise until you see the belt rotate, stop on the 0, and as you can see, the watch is now keeping hours and minutes with seconds halted. If you're really handy with the watch and you have a reference time, you can actually use this as a hacking seconds to set the watch to the precise hour, tens of minutes, single-digit minutes, and seconds. But for the most part, it's there to extend battery life and make your presence in meetings and church a little bit less offensive. Now, of course, the watch also has a setting mode, and that's the other function of the crown. I like to turn the crown using 2 thumbs. If you turn it clockwise, you'll find that it goes into that setting mode. There's the rotation of the belt, and now you turn in a counterclockwise direction and hold to cycle the hours. I can also index them individually. Holding is always the quick set mode, and then I like to use both fingers when I'm going into minute set mode. I hold and it'll sweep and cycle, or I can individually step the minutes. Now to turn off setting mode, press the crown. The watch will go back into constant seconds mode, and now you have set the time. And you can turn the constant seconds mode off just like that. That's basically how you set and use the Tread. Remember, it's not really water resistant. The crystal itself is polycarbonate, so it's exceptionally shatter resistant, but it's not the most scratch resistant. The crystal is best thought of as a shield for the dial and a sort of bay window that allows you to appreciate not just the entirety of what I suppose you could call the dial in a stretch, but also the mechanism underneath that runs the belt system. The belts should be good for life. They're nylon, 2/1000ths of an inch thick and reinforced by fiberglass. Most of the significant pivots inside the movement move on unlubricated ruby jewels. It has 350 moving parts, so periodically it will need service, such as after an extended period on one battery, and we're talking years. You can send it into Devon in California for a battery replacement, case reconditioning. You can get straps from them. On the Govberg side, I should mention we're actually authorized dealers of Devon, so if you want to get some spare parts for your watch, such as a strap or a buckle, we can actually help you out there. The nice thing about dealing with Devon is that it's a California company. The watch is made where it's serviced in California, and a watch like this Devon Tread 1B is just going to go back and usually show up a few weeks later. You'll also be able to call them and get a real human person on the phone. And as I like to say, go ahead, try that with Switzerland. This has been the Devon Tread 1B, B for Black DLC Steel.